Season number 4 of the Trip 6 Motorsport Super Touring Championship here on Raceroom concludes today in one of the most titanic championship battles the series has ever seen. Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, as we take to the Red Bull Ring for the 8th and final event of Season 4. Rounds 15 and 16, the usual business, 2 25-minute races around this iconic Austrian circuit here in the Styrian Mountains. My name, of course, is Zach Sweeney to talk you through all of the racing action. And let's take a look as to the championship situation. Our two-time double champion of Lloyd Biddulph, 221 points. Gregor Kudjek, one of the favourites at the start of the season, just 1 point behind in the fight. Who will be crowned after this evening's shenanigans? Pavel Mukonin, of course, is there in third, fighting with Nenad Vladisavljevic for the final place inside the prize-paying positions. Marvin Mackenberg, after being absent a week ago, is in 5th from Charles Oysu, who unfortunately will be absent this evening. Sebastian Ray from Pascal Jean-Prietre, from Stu Neal and Sven Mackenberg had a Bojan Kabaya just 4 points off, getting himself inside the top 10. Benz Farkas from Jorge Prieto, Butcher, Opelic, the top 15. Biblioni, Burek, Portugal, Blachak, Grohr and Kamano. All of them, by the way, positive points. Yes! Who'd have known that about halfway through this season? But, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be one to remember, I am certain. We're jumping our way through the sort of last stages of qualifying. Of course, private circuit, so no slipstream shenanigans to really worry about. And Gregor Kudjek sets the pace. Of course, the interesting thing off the back of Moss is the ballast. There is 1 point between a third championship for Lloyd Biddulph and a first for Gregor Kudjek. But with that comes 5 kilograms of performance ballast. And that 5 kilograms probably is the most important here today than it has been all season long, because the Red Bull Ring is fast. There's braking zones, there's changes of direction, there's key acceleration zones that you need to nail. However, this is the same circuit, thinking all the way back to season 1, that Lloyd Biddulph took a sensational double victory, his first ever victory, mind you, after a very consistent run of form in season 1, to clinch the championship from Mariusz Zabdir. So, it ebbs and it flows. It's 6 of one, it's half a dozen of another. What I am certain about is that we're going to have 2 cracking races in store for us this evening. Marvin Mackenberg, though, just 24 thousandths of a second away from Gregor Kudjek. Now, Marvin Mackenberg isn't fighting for a championship. Marvin Mackenberg wants a race victory. There it is, then, the grid for the final qualifying of the season. Gregor Kudjek, a 1:37.447, 24 thousandths clear of Marvin Mackenberg, 79 thousandths clear of Sebastian Ray. Pascal Jean-Prietre will join him on row 2 ahead of Sven Mackenberg, and Lloyd Biddulph, championship leader, down in 6th. Nenad Vladisavljevic from Pavel Mukonin and Stu Neal, Bojan Kabaya the top 10, Onyan Opelic, Jorge Prieto, Nikita Grohr and Piotr Blachak, the 14th and final driver that will take to the grid for races 15 and 16. Of the T6 Motorsport Super Touring Championship here at the Red Bull Ring. We've got just 3 minutes until race 1 gets underway. And the challenges of this circuit, at face value, it's pretty simple. It's not the most difficult lap in the world. You've got 3 back-to-back pretty long straights, couple of left-hand corners, the rest are right. Overall, it's not too bad. But each of those 10 corners account for a high percentage of the lap. You have to nail each and every single one of them. Turn 1, 2 and 4 respectfully, because you need that exit. Turn 6 and 7 particularly because you need to keep that momentum up. And then the final 2 corners, high speed, high demand, high risk, high reward. And all of them are vital because the momentum is going to be the key talking point of this evening. Slipstream all the way through this race. So having that knowledge of how to battle, when to battle, and how to weigh up those decisions are going to be vital. Of course, hello and welcome to everyone that's joining in the YouTube stream. Already can see Antonio Gonzalez here, our steward of the series, making sure everyone is fair, good luck, and to have fun. Of course, NerdPC, our sponsor over on the Tuesday Touring Championship on our Factor 2 here, wishing everyone some good luck and looking for a spicy championship fight. Marvin Mackenberg, of course, well, he's up there on the front row. Would not be surprised to see at least one car flipping on the curbs. They are quite high here. And it wouldn't be the first time that we've seen a car flip on curbs in the Super Touring Championship. It's happened a number of times. Jordan Osborne, as per usual, is here. I'm going to be joining the T-Shirt gang very, very soon. Don't you worry, Mr. Osborne. And, of course, anyone else out there as well that has been loving the T6 Motorsport action, whether that's on R Factor 2 on a Tuesday or here on Racestream on a Sunday. Obviously, definitely was a Sunday because you don't have to deal with Dara. Just think of all the devastation that someone called Dara has been causing this last week, all right? I'm just saying. Enough said. You don't hear of... anyway. But yes, I'm looking forward to this one. Anyone else, of course, that's been loving the T6 Motorsport action, as I was saying, make sure to head over to our Etsy store, grab yourself some lovely merch ahead of the holiday season, and yeah, make sure you're repping the brand. A very, very strong brand indeed. 33 seconds left to warm up, by the way, and then we'll get ourselves on to the grid. Less than a tenth of a second separate the top three, and our championship leader down in 6th place. Pavel Mukkonen, look out for him as the race goes on, starting, I believe, inside the top 5. And is a driver that likes to cause a little bit of carnage and chaos, to say the least. He likes to stick his nose in, he likes to get involved, and he's a very, very punchy driver. And of course is vying for that 3rd place spot in the championship, which, by the way, to remind you in terms of the prize pool, at £200 cash going the way of the champion after this evening. 2nd place, 125, 3rd, 75. Great British pounds of cash. And then those that have attended each and every single round will get their name drawn and will win themselves a T6 shirt ahead of, well, after their efforts of this season. And again, a nice little Christmas present here from T6. Race 1, though, about to get underway. The drivers heading on to the grid for the penultimate time in season number 4, with so much excitement to talk about as well into 2025. But we'll get on to that later. We need to conclude 2024 first. What a year it's been. Ups, downs, everything in between. A roller coaster of emotions and an upward trajectory for sim racing. And a lot of these drivers as well have been at their utter best in 2024. And I, for one, cannot wait to get going, especially with Gregor Kudjek on pole. 5 red lights, 25 minutes on the clock here at the Red Bull Ring for race 15, event 8, and the penultimate race of season number 4. Lights are on, lights are off, and we go racing at the Red Bull Ring. Gregor Kudjek gets a good start from pole position, and Marvin Mackenberg is unable to draw alongside as we approach turn number 1. But it's all about the exit, it's all about the slipstream. Look out for Lloyd Bidoff as he's on the inside of Sven Mackenberg and tries to pick his way through. Be careful of that sausage curb on the outside of the circuit as well. Look in the background, the Audi RS3 side by side with the Honda Civic. We've got to track Lloyd Bidoff's progress through, but also look for Gregor Kudjek, who's under pressure from the other Mackenbro, side by side as they approach the braking zone for turn number 3. The Hyundai on the outside of the other Hyundai. Gregor Kudjek, of course, has got a lot more to lose this evening. Outside line for Marvin Mackenberg as he tries to accelerate his way towards turn number 4. It's a drag race as they approach the next braking zone. Also in the slipstream, Sebastian Ray, who could be looking to cause some carnage and chaos. Gregor Kudjek has the favourable line, but Marvin Mackenberg is not one to back down easily. He brakes quite late. Has he got the agility to go the long way round? He gets given the space by Gregor Kudjek, gets muscled to the outside of the circuit, but Gregor Kudjek just able to hang on as we approach the infield section for the first time. 1 minute down, 24 to go in race number 1, and already this is setting the stage for what should be an absolute dream of a championship finale. Lloyd Bidoff makes his way into 5th place ahead of Sven Mackenberg, who's having some trouble actually. He's fighting away with Pavel Mukkonen for 7th place, so Sven really dropping backwards off the back of this start, and that's the momentum thing. The pack racing, very sort of emulative of a NASCAR race, of an oval race. The same dynamic at play with the slipstream and being freight trained. You've got to keep that minimum speed up. Gregor Kudjek, though, will crucially lead the first lap. He also got himself a point for pole position, not forget. So right now the championship is tied, and Gregor Kudjek will be doing himself a lot of favours going into race number 2 as things stand. But we've got the majority of race 1 yet to go as well. One One down though, one lap in the books, and it goes to Gregor Hudek. Marvin Mackenberg from Sebastian Ray, Pascal Jean-Poitre, then comes Lloyd Biddulph, Vada Savlovic, the top 6, Mukonin from Mackenberg, Neil and Kabai, the top 10. Could we see any changes of positions as we approach the top of the hill for the second time? Look at that from Marvin Mackenberg, half defensive, half offensive. Sebastian Ray looks to go to the outside of his fellow countryman. Gregor Hudek might be more focused in his mirrors at this, trying not to be tagged from behind as well. Once again, they settle into single file motion. Pascal Jean-Poitre, after the success of his victory at race 2 at Moss last week, wants to carry that into the championship finale, but right now has to sit stationary in 4th place. Through turn number 4 for the second time, and you can see there Lloyd Biddulph struggling a little bit to stay onto the back of the 4 ahead of them, because again of that 20 kilogram success ballast he's carrying. Of course, Gregor Hudek himself has got 15 kilos, and that 5 kilogram relative difference between the pair of them will be making quite a substantial difference in the agility of the car, how well it moves, the wear on the tyres as well, let's not forget. And you've got to manage that. And you can see a pretty big gap, or big pack I should say, starting to form as well, from Pavel Mukonin all the way back down to Onyan Opalic down in P11. So be interesting to see how that one develops as the race goes on as well, because whilst we are focused on the top, everyone is fighting for their own respective championship positions as well, even if it's not necessarily for the overall prize that is going to be the 200 Great British Pounds to our championship winner, and of course the prestigious title that is the T6 Motorsport Super Touring Championship. Of course, it went to Lloyd Biddulph for season 1 and 2, Gaspar Rack for season 3. Will it be a third for Lloyd Biddulph or a second for Ego Racing after Gaspar Rack's success? Will his teammate be able to take the crown? He's putting his best foot forward in the early stages of race number 1. P1, by the way, gets themselves 20 points. P5 gets 11. So right now it's going to be a 9-point differential going into race 2, and that's going to be a tough one to close. Vada Savlovic has a chance at tipping Pavel Mukonin for P3 I should say, in the championship, but at the moment does seem to be quite a far cry, unless Pavel Mukonin has a similar situation to what we saw at the Lausitz Ring a few weeks ago. What a journey it's been, by the way. Of course, we fought ourselves Donington all the way back at round 1, Brno, the Lausitz Ring, then at Most a week on the 10th of November. I said Pascal won at Moss, didn't I? I meant Assen. It was a week ago we were at Assen. Then it was to the Bilsterberg, Laguna Seca. A week ago we were at Assen. And then, of course, to the Red Bull Ring where we are today. The journey around the globe, bringing thrills and spills along the way. Marvin Mackenberg then in 2nd place, searching still for a go at that lead. However, does he really want to, as we're now 20% of the way through race number 1? How beneficial is it going to be in the lead of this race? Will he be able to pull away, or is he better off being sat in 2nd, using the slipstream to try and sort of fabricate a move later on in the race where track position matters a little bit more? A poor exit off turn number 1 though is going to hamper his run. I think maybe the memo from Sebastian Ray is to be bump drafting and staying on the back of Gregor Hudek, because neither one of those two wants to finish 2nd. They want to finish 1st. Of course, it is helpful in racing. Perhaps not so much in other avenues of life. However, when it comes to on the racetrack, you most definitely want to be the first one across the line, gets the most points, and of course the gold trophy, and no way to end the season, no better way really to end the season than with the top honours. And at the moment, if you battle now, you are just going to be settling for 2nd. Gregor Hudek just seems to be doing a decent job as to maintain the pace, control it, keep everyone in check, really. Keep them all at an arm's distance. Do exactly what he needs to do. And the thing is that he's not focusing on his mirrors. He's not buckling under the pressure that Marvin Mackenberg or Ray is giving him. Right, he's focused on making sure he's hitting his racing lines, his braking points, his references, his apexes and exits. That's all he needs to do. He's just driving as quickly as he can. He's not focused about defending or how am I going to, will I be overtaken? Will they fabricate a move? It's not that. It's looking at the windscreen. That is where the race is for Gregor Hudek. Marvin Mackenberg isn't quite able, whether it's can't or won't put much pressure on him is another thing entirely. However, something mentally will be going on. Marvin Mackenberg has got a lot less to lose than Gregor Kucek, and maybe that is going to be the cause for a little bit of argy-bargy later on in this race, because he is very, very close. So too is Sebastian Ray. Could we go 3 wide for the first time this race? Marvin Mackenberg sandwiched between the pair of them. Gregor Kucek, of course, the latest one on the brakes. The up and under is there momentarily from Marvin Mackenberg, and around the outside goes Sebastian Ray. Is he able to keep his foot flat to the floor as he tries to amount the pressure onto his fellow countryman of Marvin Mackenberg? The two of them are side by side as they fly in diamond formation, the top 4. Marvin Mackenberg then on the right-hand side as Sebastian Ray tries to attack to the outside of turn 4. He brakes later, takes the apex. Is he able to get the car stopped and rotated? Yes, he is. Brilliant move from Sebastian Ray to hang on. Marvin Mackenberg is trying to keep a Kindle alive and just try and apply more pressure, but alas, to no avail into turn number 6. Sebastian Ray is able to stay ahead, gets that second place, very cleverly done. To the outside, didn't bother with a switchback, knew that Kucek and Mackenberg would sort of maybe tunnel vision on each other a little bit and sort of maybe pinch on the exit. He went around the outside, kept his foot in, and then sealed the deal with an excellent overtake into turn number 4. Gregor Kucek, though, is going to be loving the pressure that's being applied amongst second, third and fourth, because it gives him that breathing space to get away. Interestingly enough, though, as well, those that might have noticed Lloyd Biddulph dropping off the back of Pascal Jean-Priatre just ever so slightly, definitely out of slipstream range. Of course, if second, third and fourth continue to battle as they are, he will be sort of slowly reeled back in, but doesn't bode well for the double champ. Once again in the slipstream, will Marvin Mackenberg be able to go forward, or will it be another lap that he's falling backwards as PJP tries to mount an attack? I don't really think he's overly interested, and cleverly so. I mean, it's just that thing that I was talking about with racecraft and positioning. Just been told, by the way, the fastest lap at the moment goes to Sebastian Ray. Can't say I'm surprised, he's been driving quite quickly, and of course had the assistance of the slipstream. Vada Sablovic on the back of Pavel Mukonin. Just behind that you've got Sven Mackenberg versus Stu Neal as well. That's the fight for 8th place as they sort of break their way off into their own separate packs, as the field now begins to sort of stretch out and spread. But yeah, about the fast lap point, of course, ideally Lloyd Biddulph or Gregor Kucek would want that for their own respective campaigns. Gregor Kucek, of course, like I said, was able to get that pole position point that will be assisting his efforts, and at the moment the gap will be 9 points, unless either one of them is able to facilitate either extra places, which the only person that can do that is Lloyd Biddulph, or lose places, obviously Gregor Kucek, or maybe get themselves that fastest lap point as well, which the way that Biddulph with the ballast isn't looking good. Gregor Kucek, of course, is more focused on winning the race rather than pushing hard, maybe getting in the slipstream. Ideally, if he's in the slipstream, it means he's not in first place, which isn't ideal. So maybe his focus just got to be to win this race. You don't want to put too much on your plate. As a championship protagonist, as we'll get back to that in a second, Stu Neal on the inside of turn 1, Sven Mackenberg, both of them push each other quite wide. Boy and Kabay then going to be trying to make the most of it. Goes 2 wheels onto the blue AstroTurf on the right-hand side of the circuit, tries to make it 3 wide. He's going to draw alongside Sven Mackenberg. The two of them, by the way, battling for P10 in the championship. Boy and Kabay wanting to do it on his debut season, as there's a change for the lead. Sebastian Ray to the outside of our championship leader as things stand. Gregor Kucek then side by side. Will he back out of this one knowing what's on the line, or will he fight it to the death for the victory? Sebastian Ray has the outside line, but he's also got the advantage. He gives Gregor Kucek the squeeze going into turn number 4. He meets the apex first, does the Slovenian driver. He gets the power down more effectively as well, as they still continue to drive side by side. This time Gregor Kucek has to go to the outside as he tries to have the agility and swing his Hyundai the long way round to Sebastian Ray, who gives him the space on the exit. This is risky business for our championship protagonist. Sebastian Ray back down the inside of turn number 8 as they now immerse themselves to the final third of the lap. Gregor Kucek now tries to thwart the attack, and through goes Marvin Mackenberg, trying to attack the pair of them now towards the penultimate corner. Marvin Mackenberg finds his way back through in a second, or at the very least contest for it. Sebastian Ray tries to attack to the outside of the penultimate corner, but Gregor Kucek says no and hangs on just about. And what a climactic end. And after all of that, they're 1, 2, 3 and 4 as they were. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the battle that we expected. This, ladies and gentlemen, is T6 Motorsport. And this is what happens when you put some of the best in the business around the Red Bull Ring in a tight championship finale. I've got to say the kahunas on Gregor Kujek are massive to have that bravery to fight this hard, knowing what's at stake, but he doesn't want to settle. He wants the championship, but he wants the win as well. Marvin Mackenberg looks to go to the inside, 2 wheels over the curb through turn number 3, applies the pressure ever so slightly to Sebastian Ray, but doesn't quite get the exit, unless he's just trying to go for the slipstream and get the move done into turn number 4 that way. PJP as well, you can see very close to the rear end of Marvin Mackenberg as they now try to apply the pressure to each other to turn 4. A slight look to the middle of the track from Mackenberg. Has that done more harm than good though, because PJP definitely looking quite menacing, but is clever is Jean Pietro. I mean, obviously off the back of the win at Assen, I'm saying correctly today, he knows, right? He's experienced, he knows what he's doing, he knows not to go for anything stupid, he knows not to settle for P3, because, I hate to say it, and no offence to Pascal, Marvin Mackenberg wins that 1v1. So Jean Pietro is being very clever here and using Marvin Mackenberg as the tool, as that sort of driving force, as that sort of, what's the word, the thing that they knock doors down with, that thing, to force Marvin Mackenberg through onto Sebastian Ray. The battering ram. Thank you very much to Rich Retherill. Yeah, I just completely forgot how to England for a second there. I had the vision of what they do, but yeah, the battering ram to force Marvin Mackenberg into Sebastian Ray. Not literally, of course, but metaphorically in the sense of this battle. By the way, we are over halfway through this race. It wouldn't be a stream if I forgot how to say a word at some point. It was the Blitzerberg a few weeks ago. It's battering ram today. Sebastian Ray, though, looking to go once again on the offensive on Gregor Kujek. 11 minutes and 15 seconds left to go. What does everyone make of the opening half of race 1 then? Are you as excited as I am to see this championship conclude? Sebastian Ray once again looks to go to the outside. Gregor Kujek very cleverly parks it in the middle of the circuit, but has he broken too late to open the door for an up and under from Sebastian Ray? Not quite. So nicely defended from Gregor Kujek there, showing brilliant racecraft as per usual. Also good to note that Sebastian Ray has not got any of that performance-based ballast onto his car, so he's driving with a completely clean slate, whereas Marvin Mackenberg has got a couple of kilos. Pascal as well hasn't got any to his car, so they should have the advantage in terms of pace. And I think that definitely shows with Sebastian Ray and his pure straight line speed and acceleration that he's been showcasing, as well as the agility on those moves through the sweeping left-handers. But overall, Gregor Kujek is just planting the car exactly where it needs to be. Ten minutes left to go in race number 1. Make sure everyone, of course, liking the stream if you are enjoying, because I most definitely am. Hope you guys are as well. Share this to as many people as possible ahead of the final race of this season, and, well, ahead of the final 10 minutes of race number 1 as well, because I'm sure it's not going to be an anticlimactic finish. Gregor Kujek once again forced to go defensive to defend the lead, as Sebastian Ray once more looks to go to the outside. There's contact between the pair of them as Sebastian Ray gets muscled wide. Gregor Kujek is able to reach the exit point first, and he's got to be careful not to be having too much contact, because a penalty could be disastrous in the fight for the championship. Sebastian Ray pulling out too early as he tucks back into the slipstream, now back out to the inside of turn 4, late on the brakes. Gregor Kujek sees it coming. He's going to try and hang it to the outside once more as well. Beautiful stuff as he's over the curb and potentially losing the lead. Doesn't quite have the drive to combat Sebastian Ray towards the double infield section here at turn 6 and 7, and through Sebastian Ray into the lead of this race. Now, crucially, will he be able to get away, or will Gregor Kujek be hammering home the counter-attack as Marvin Mackenberg looks to solidify P2 as well? Slightly wide from Sebastian Ray off the exit of the left-hander, doesn't quite grab the curb in the right point and has to make it more of a corner than it needs to be, and that is keeping Gregor Kujek in check. Now through the penultimate corner, 8 minutes 43 seconds left on the clock, and this is nail-biting stuff. Still through all of this though, Lloyd Biloff just doesn't have the speed. I mean, as things stand, he'll start on pole position for race 2, and that might be his saving grace, unless Pavel Mukonin and Vada Savlovic come and spoil the party. Because one, they'd overtake him and take points away from him, and two, he'd be starting a lot further down the grid than he'd have liked to be And this is all adding things to the basket of Gregor Kucek for his championship campaign. Sebastian Rey, though, for his first look as the race leader into turn 3 is uncontested. Gregor Kucek not quite close enough on this time by, but has to be applying that psychological pressure. Sebastian Rey needs to know he's quicker, which he is. He's got the fastest lap. He's got an unballasted car. And overall has been driving really, really strongly here at the Red Bull Ring. But if Gregor Kucek can convince him that he's under pressure, make him defend, then he will be. He'll be defending when he doesn't necessarily need to. Gregor Kucek can then start to apply physical pressure and get himself back into the race lead. Still, though, doing himself a lot of favours. The gap still will be 6 points in the championship between Gregor Kucek and Lloyd Biddulph, which even then is tantalisingly close, considering so many things can go wrong. Track limits, by the way, haven't even brought them up yet. At the Red Bull Ring on Race Room can be pretty brutal at times. Catch them wrong, get yourself a drive-through or a slowdown, and but you've lost so many places. So again, something you have to be mindful of. I think the allowance is 2 wheels over the curb as a top 2, you can see, breaking a couple of car lengths away from Marvin Mackenberg, actually, into the final 7 minutes of this race. PJP just being patient, and a half look there from Gregor Kucek. More to spot his braking point than anything, but again, can fill the mirrors of Sebastian Rey, make him feel a bit under pressure as he goes slightly over the curb. The gap between them now 0.2 of a second. It's a long run uphill. Will Gregor Kucek manufacture a move? Marvin Mackenberg looks quite dangerous as well. Very, very close to the rear end of Sebastian Rey as Gregor Kucek. He pulls out to the right-hand side then, does our championship leader. He is later on the brakes. Will Sebastian Rey be able to hang it to the outside? He does. Will he be able to get the power down then is the next question. Gregor Kucek returns to the race lead, but for how much longer? He's got the favourable line once more for turn number 4. Marvin Mackenberg as well could yet get involved. Sebastian Rey, though, look at the straight line speed that he's got. Outside line as we go downhill braking once more for turn 4. Gregor Kucek very aggressive, but Sebastian Rey not backing down until he absolutely has to. The door is now potentially open for Marvin Mackenberg to slip through, but Sebastian Rey is wise and slips back in as soon as possible. Kucek then back to the lead, and the gap in the championship returns to 9 points between Lloyd Biddulph and Gregor Kucek. What a race this is. Absolutely, undeniably one of the best of the season. Not just because of what's at stake, but the racing and the respect that we're seeing. And I had no doubt Red Bull Ring is always a good choice for a championship finale. Five and a half minutes. At 1:37 a lap, which, to be fair, considering how short of a lap it is at the Red Bull Ring, is a pretty long lap. But yeah, you're not going to be looking at anywhere near sort of GT times in touring cars, I do suppose. But 5 minutes left to go. That's going to translate to probably about 3 more laps as Pavel Mukkonen is on the scene of Lloyd Biddulph. Now this is dangerous. The championship is definitely swinging the way of Gregor Kucek, but this could be the seal that, of course, cements Biddulph's fate. Sebastian Rey contesting for the race lead once more, outside line for turn 3. He's used to that line. Marvin Mackenberg, though, is dangerously close. Which side is he going to decide to favour? Is he going to push at the back end of Gregor Kucek, or will he settle behind Sebastian Rey? I think that's been decided. Is he going to try and muscle either one of them through? This time he settles to go to the outside line and try and put some pressure on Kucek, who has to half defend, half attack. He reaches the curb first. Outside line from Sebastian Rey as he gets muscled wide. Marvin Mackenberg, has he got any say in this battle as they continue to go side by side? This time Gregor Kucek is the outside line. There's contact between Sebastian Rey and Marvin Mackenberg as Rey sends the move to the inside of the left-hander. Beautiful stuff as Gregor Kucek has to try and keep his foot in. Sebastian Rey now once again has the inside, but the agility is there for the championship leader, who gets given the space with a slight bit of contact. Rubbin is racing and Marvin Mackenberg tries to slot his way through. 4 minutes left to go in race number 1, and none of these 3 are going to be backing down anytime soon. Electrifying stuff, and Gregor Kucek is not scared. He's got everything to lose but a race to win, with 3 minutes and 40 left on the clock. And like I was saying, Lloyd Biddulph is under pressure from Pavel Mukkonen and from Nenad Badasavljevic just in behind. Pavel Mukkonen, one of those drivers as well. He does not give a Scooby about the outcome of this championship, provided he finishes as high up on this grid as he can. Lloyd Biddulph is no different. He wants that reverse grid pole position and the extra points that go with it. He pulls out to the outside of turn 3. Nenad Vadisavljevic as well is there, ready to pick up the pieces should anything go awry. Lloyd Biddulph defends, muscles Mukonin wide over the curb, but not quite enough to force him off track. So keeping it within the confines of the rules. Once again, the top 3 doing battle momentarily 3 wide. Sebastian Ray this time locked on the inside of turn number 4, but you can bet your bottom dollar he's going to be brave. It's too brave and it's too late, and the up and under is there, not once, not twice, but thrice. Sebastian Ray drops to 4th in a titanic battle, and could that be it for the German? With so little time left to recover, Gregor Kudjek inherits the lead side by side once more as Vadisavljevic fights with Mukonin as the Russian driver is able to edge his way through and stay in 6th place, continuing to pile the pressure onto Lloyd Biddulph. Sebastian Ray, though, way too late on the brakes, and with 3 places to climb to clinch victory and only 2 more laps of race 1 to do it, it could be going the way of Gregor Kudjek. My oh my, what a battle this is. Makes me all more excited for 2025. I mean, I'm on the edge of my seat, ready to see the conclusion of 2024 in Season 4 of the T6 Motorsport Super Touring Championship. But I just cannot wait for 2025, knowing this is what we've got in store. Pavel Mukonin looks to go to the inside of turn number 1. You don't often see that slight bit of contact as Nenad Vadisavljevic takes the race in line and gets the exit and gets his way 6th place as well. Penultimate lap of the race, and Nenad Vadisavljevic has now got the run on the double champion of Lloyd Biddulph, who does go defensive. Vadisavljevic, who is dubbed the tank in this championship. He knows how to attack, he knows how to defend. He's got to use all that experience and then some to combat someone like Lloyd Biddulph, who looks to go to the outside. The Serbian driver could not quite cement the move to take reverse grid pole position. Lloyd Biddulph is driving to clinch any hope of the championship and hang on to what he can. Vadisavljevic searching for the inside line but can't quite find it. He's not quite brave enough on the brakes to attempt to move into turn 4 quite either. And breathe for a second, because I don't think we're going to have another opportunity before the end of this race. Of course, I'm going to take this opportunity to thank our wonderful sponsors of Garage DuPont and Stewie Jess's Garage as well. Both of them based in Switzerland. You can check all of their details in the description below, because without them we could not have absolutely massive prize pool that we've got and attract as many fantastic drivers as we have. So thank you for their endless support of this season. As the battle continues on track, Pavel Mukonin tries to find a way through the pair of them, and that's the stance he's got to take. He's got to wait for Vadisavljevic and Biddulph to run each other off the road so he can slip his way through. But Lloyd Biddulph is driving with his heart on the line, with the 3rd championship on the line and 200 great British pounds on the line. Semi-defensive into turn 1. All that's going to do is hamper his exit though, and Nenad Vadisavljevic could have the advantage. The final lap of race number 1. Gregor Kudjek versus Marvin Mackenberg as well. Could be one to look forward to as the German attacks for the lead. Vadisavljevic though could well be pushed. The bump drive from Pavel Mukonin to potentially promote him onto that reverse grid pole position, otherwise known as P5. The Serbian driver looks to the outside but gets muscled wide. Pavel Mukonin goes underneath them and now is going to try and have an attack at Lloyd Biddulph as well, who I think might just be safe towards turn number 4, giving the slipstream to Pavel Mukonin, but not quite enough to be at a disadvantage by the time they reach the next braking zone. Lloyd Biddulph keeps 5th, and as long as he keeps it tight, he could well be able to have the advantage going into race number 2. And my oh my, does he need it after the stellar performance by our man at the front, Gregor Kudjek, who's just got a handful of corners left to go to add to his handful of victories this season. I don't think Marvin Mackenberg has really got much to attack with. Sebastian Ray, by the way, was able to promote himself back onto the podium ahead of Pascal Jean-Pietre. But Gregor Kudjek, a man in search of his maiden championship, following in the footsteps of his teammate and good friend Gasper Mrak. From pole position, he had to work for this one, but he was not scared to take the fight to Mackenberg or to Sebastian Ray. Race 1 of round 8 of the T6 Motorsport Super Touring Championship goes the way of Gregor Kudjek, who takes the championship lead with him with just 1 more to go. But look at Lloyd Biddulph there, 5th place, and with it reverse grid pole. If there is any hope left in this championship, it rides on that starting position. ladies and gentlemen, buckle up for race number 2 that will be coming in a few moments' time. What a race that was. Of course, while you've got a chance in the brief intermission, go and get some snacks because you're not going to want to move away from the screen. There you can see Gregor Kujek victorious once more this season. Marvin Mackenberg joins him on the podium ahead of Sebastian Ray, who takes the fastest lap with him as well. Pascal Jean-Prietre from Lloyd Bidoff, that's the reverse grid. It'll be Bidoff and Pascal, the front row for race 2. Pavel Mukonin from Vada Savlovic, Stu Neal, Mackenberg and Kubai, the top 10 from Opelic, Prieto, Graw and Blackjack. I'm going to step away and we'll be back for race 2 to decide the championship. This is it then, ladies and gentlemen. One final ride in Season 4 of the T6 Motorsport Super Touring Championship. Race 1 brought drama, excitement, thrills and spills, and we get to do it all over again for our final race of this season. 9 points separate Gregor Kujek and Lloyd Bidoff in the fight for the championship. One of them starts on pole position, and it's going to be Lloyd Bidoff in that Audi RS3. 25 minutes on the clock, a champion to be crowned. Race number 2 here at the Red Bull Ring. Lights are on. Lights are off, and we get underway for one more time in Season 4. Lloyd Bidoff leads them well from pole position, but look for Gregor Kucek as he tries to ascend his way to a 4th victory and the championship crowning of Season 4 as well. He tries to fight, I think he was up over 2 wheels onto the curb at turn number 1, but Lloyd Bidoff leads turn number 1 crucially as he needs this for the championship. Pascal Jean-Pietre as well could be looking to put some quick pressure onto him as they ascend up the hill towards turn number 3, but maybe the Unlimited Esports teammate pairing could be working together to solidify the championship chance for Lloyd Bidoff. Looking at Gregor Kucek's progress, he's not moved. Stu Neal versus Pavel Mukonen as well. They're doing battle in the absolute gaggle that is the war zone behind them, but I think side by side, Marvin Mackenberg versus Gregor Kucek, that's the battle for 4th place, and Kucek needs as many points as he can get just to put the nail in the coffin for the Season 4 crown. He's later on the brakes, he takes 4th place, but it's too wide. He misses out on that crucial rotation, and Marvin Mackenberg is able to hang on. They've got to be so careful though, because if they lose sight of that top 3, then that is effectively day done in terms of this race. But I think as things stand, Gregor Kucek will be able to hang on to the championship. In fact, actually, no, they'll be tied on points if Lloyd Bidoff is able to win this race. So Gregor Kucek would need the championship point for fastest lap in order to clinch the title. On countback, by the way, they're matched on wins, 3 each, 5 second places though for Lloyd Bidoff. And as things stand, that will be the case in terms of going back on countback. Gregor Kucek is going to do everything in his power to prevent that from happening though. Pascal Jean-Pietre maybe going to be forcing a bit of a stone wall situation, blockading Lloyd Bidoff for the lead. Maybe there could be a little bit of Unlimited Esports shenanigans going on, or is PJP driving his own race? Look to the inside though. Marvin Mackenberg finds his way through on Sebastian Ray. Those two had a mighty rivalry in race 1, and once again it continues in race 2. Gregor Kucek involved as well as Marvin Mackenberg tries to draw alongside Sebastian Ray for the final step on the podium, but alas not to any fruition this time by. However, a quick look to the inside of turn 4, more in defence of Gregor Kucek, who comes steaming to his outside. Not quite close enough then either though. 22 minutes, 15 seconds left on the clock. So far, they've been well behaved, considering what's at stake. Gregor Kucek needs to know, though, that as things stand, despite his dominant effort in race 1, just to clinch the championship with no headaches, he needs one more place at the very least. Obviously, extra would help, but he done himself a ton of favours in race 1 by winning, obviously. The pole position point as well, he needs fastest lap to help. I think that's going to go the way of Sebastian Ray or even Marvin Mackenberg in this race based on the sheer pace that they were showing through race 1. Of course, we'll keep you updated as the race develops, but make sure you are glued to your screens, ladies and gentlemen, because you're not going to want to miss a single second of race number 2. Get as many people as you can watching on, whether you're at work or you're in the living room. Turn the Christmas movies off just for a second, because this is one of the most historic championship finales in T6 history. Look to the inside, and Marvin Mackenberg makes contact with Sebastian Ray and goes off the circuit at turn 3, late on the brakes, got caught to his rear left. There's contact on the rejoin with Pavel Mukonen, and Marvin Mackenberg drops to 6th place. That promotes Kucek into definite championship winning territory, just in behind Sebastian Ray. Slight bit of contact, and it had disastrous consequences there for Marvin Mackenberg, who's now dropped to 7th place. Thankfully for him, of course, everyone's still just about sort of in touching distance. Fastest lap, by the way, is with Lloyd Bidoff as things stand. My oh my. And that's how easy it can happen. Just when you think it's settled, just when you think everything's calmed down, that snap of the fingers, blink of an eye, and anything can change, and it's indiscriminate. Lloyd Bidoff and Gregor Kucek, neither one of them are immune to incidents like that either. Mistakes can still happen. So it is not over until they cross the checkered flag. 20 minutes left to go. We're 20% of the way through of our coronating race. Gregor Hujek now in 4th though. Like I say, as things stand, that's more than good enough to win the championship. On with it, 200 Great British Pounds and the title going back to Aga HQ. Behind that, of course, you can see Pavel Mukkonen under pressure as Marvin Mackenberg looks to go to the outside, but just grabs the curb at the wrong point, loses some grip, and Pavel Mukkonen goes back through. Vadisavljevic as well goes through, so Mackenberg got to be careful not to lose his head here. Got to be careful to just knock it back in. He's side by side with his brother, Sven Mackenberg, who was saying the Honda Civic GP2 engine apparently unraceable around the Red Bull Ring, not quite got the straight line speed that's needed to contest. And he falls behind Sven, does Marvin, between the two Mackenbros. What could have been if they'd have attended every round this season? Definite fighters for the championship, particularly Marvin. His season has been nothing short of fantastic. So too is Sven, in all fairness, battling maybe a suboptimal car at times with the Honda Civic, but overall a very strong season from the pair of them, as we've come to expect. Those that tune into the Race Room Ranked Championship and any Race Room official races will know the Mackenbros are a force to be reckoned with. Any one of these drivers on this grid are the top fighters of Race Room Esports, particularly of course in the touring cars, and it's exciting to be a part of their journey. Hopefully most of them will be joining us over on R Factor 2 in the new year as well. Got some exciting news to talk about after we've crowned our champion. What I will say is we're going to have 2 championships. We're going to have the T6 Touring and a T6 Porsche 992 GT3 championship that will take place on alternate Sundays throughout 2025, and if that isn't exciting, I don't know what is. Over on our Factor 2, fantastic cars, and with it some fantastic competition to go with it. That's all I'll give you for now. Sprinkle a little bit more in as the race develops. Pascal Jean-Priestre, though, still on the back of Lloyd Bidoff, and still not overly willing to go for a move, knowing the threat of Sebastian Rey and Gregor Hujek is there. Of course, Lloyd Bidoff needs to win this race. Bottom line, he needs to win this race. Mathematically, yeah, if Gregor Hujek falls backwards, Lloyd Bidoff doesn't necessarily need to win this race. But for any realistic chance in this championship, he has to win. He's fought the ballast, and his pace in race 1 wasn't great. Missing out on the slipstream for the best part of it, just lacking what he needed to really be a part of that front 4. But now he's got that opportunity. He needs to grab it with both hands. He's got the support of PJP as things stand. Whether those allegiances will stand later on in the race is another question, but even then, Bidoff right now is not quite doing enough to win the championship. With the fastest lap, he will be remaining tied in the championship. In fact, no, he won't. The gap will be 1 point in favour of Gregor Hujek, just crunching the numbers. So Bidoff needs Hujek to fall behind Stu Neal if he wants to win this championship, because right now it is in favour of Hujek by 1 singular championship point after what would have been 16 hard-fought races. $342 points on offer over the entirety of the season. Gregor with the fastest lap though as things stand, so that's going to be cementing him further in the championship. So now it's a 3-point favour for the Slovenian, who with 3 victories has charged his way to be within 16 minutes of championship glory. And it's a 4-car train for the lead. Stu Neal makes up the top 5 in what is a Neal Express, really, with Mukkonen, Vadisavljevic, and the 2 Mackenbros there in line. Pavel Mukkonen, though, a very, very strong sort of runner-up, because it was always a fight for third. As soon as Bidoff and Hujek got some trajectory in their championship, we knew it was going to be a 2-horse race. But Pavel Mukkonen has had a very, very strong season. sort of shadowed by some bad luck, such as sort of the Lausitz ring. They freight train their way through on Stu Neil. Sven Mackenberg as well looks to go to the inside. And Neil very quickly goes from 5th to 8th in the span of just one single corner. And in the background, that's Boyan Kabaya. Oh, no, it's not. It's Jorge Prieto up on 2 wheels through the curb. Sven Mackenberg, though, and you can see the difference in straight line speed. The Honda Civic, no amount of VTEC is going to be able to help you there. Change to P2 though, Sebastian Ray versus Pascal Jean-Pietro. Sven Mackenberg is forced off in a similar fashion to his brother a few laps ago. But by the way, Sebastian Ray now makes it a Sebastian Ray sandwich with unlimited esports bread at the front, and Gregor Kudjek could well be interested in getting involved. PJP looks to go to the outside, but is going to lose out to Gregor Kudjek instead, who mounts the curb and rubs door to door with the Swiss driver. They're side by side towards the infield section. Now does Gregor Kudjek have the agility to soar his way through to third? PJP in the end has to back out too tight of a line to contest, and into third, and with it taking more points in the championship, on his way to his crowning, maybe, unless something drastic goes wrong. Gregor Kudjek, literally and metaphorically in the driving seat for the T6 Motorsport Super Touring Championship title. What a season it has been. From Donington Park all those weeks ago to the present day moment, and the wild ride that we had in between. We've got just over half of a race left to go to round off 2024 of T6 Motorsport. We had 2 seasons, season 3 and season 4 took place, and it could well be Aga with dominance defining racing. Heavy on the anchors into turn 3 once more. Sebastian Ray applying the pressure, and Gregor Kudjek using him as the battering ram. I remember this time. Potentially on Lloyd Biddulph, because Sebastian Ray's the one with the pace. I mean, Gregor Kudjek obviously has got the fastest lap, but Sebastian Ray definitely helping and carrying him forward. There is, by the way, Vada Savlovic and Pavel Bukonin, who, like a married couple, can't quite get enough of each other in this race. Been a little couplet in their little say it Cupra, say it couple. No, that doesn't really work. No, it's fine. Forget I said anything. Jordan Osborne, the biggest salesman for T6 Motorsport. Everyone smashed the like button, because what a season it's been. What an evening it's been of racing thus far today. And we've got now the second half of race 2 left to decide it all. Thank you to everyone for their support. Anyone that's tuned in, watched, liked, shared a stream. If this is your first time here, what a time to be joining us. What a time to be a part of T6 Motorsport. Thank you again to our sponsors, Garage DuPont and Stu Jesse's Garage. Go and show them some love, because again, without them, we wouldn't be able to go racing to the same extent that we do, season in and season out. And as sad as I'm going to be to see this season end, the conclusion has brought me many a joy in terms of the racing that we got. Lloyd Biddulph under immense pressure from Sebastian Ray. Lloyd Biddulph momentarily just bringing it over to the middle of the track to deter the move, but then nose to tail. And Lloyd Biddulph is not giving up. He knows that the championship is not over until it's over. He knows he needs to win. He knows he needs to keep Sebastian Ray at bay. Sebastian Ray not quite close enough into turn 4. A little bit wide from Biddulph, not quite able to get the exit that he'd have wanted. Is that going to allow Ray to maybe mount a bit of a challenge in that Hyundai? Not on this occasion, it's not. But once again, PJP just there's a bit of a dark horse at the back of a 4-car train. Biddulph from Ray, Kudjek, Jean-Pietro, I should say. Getting lazy with his name. PJP, I'll give him all the nicknames, don't I? Mukonin, the top 5 from Vada Savlovic, Marvin Mackenberg, Stu Neil, Sven Mackenberg and Bojan Kabaya. Our top 10, Jorge Prieto and Onyan Opalic. Our 12th and final driver to be classified thus far in race 2. 10 minutes left of season 4. Slightly wider line from Sebastian Ray, trying to maximise all of the track into turn 1 and thus maximise the exit to launch an attack into turn 3. In the background as well, you can see Mukonin making a little bit of a mistake of turn 1, and that could allow Vadisavljevic to have a look, but we'll keep our eyes peeled on the fight for the lead because Sebastian Ray getting tantalisingly close. Gregor Kudjek as well, having to defend from PJP, who looks to the outside, over the curb though, and has to delay his turning. Interesting from Sebastian Ray. We didn't see this level of conservation from him in race 1. He's very much being careful, probably for this exact reason. He knows the move is better into turn 4, draws alongside, later on the brakes than our double champion, and Sebastian Ray goes through to take the lead of race 2 here at the Red Bull Ring. And now our 2 championship protagonists are neck and neck. Second for Lloyd Biddulph, third for Gregor Kudjek, and as things stand, it's Kudjek's title to lose. The two of them have shared the podium countless times. They've got 6 wins between the pair of them this season. Everyone watching along, who is winning this race? What's your favourite moment of season 4? What have you loved about this championship, and what can you not wait to be looking forward to in 2025? Are there going to be any more twists and turns in the endless narrative that is season 4? Does Lloyd Biddulph have any hope of the championship at this stage? Hopefully they do some battle just to round it off so ceremoniously. They've shared one of the best championship battles I think I've ever commentated on. And it comes down to this. 8 minutes on the clock. Gregor Kudjek could just put the nail in the coffin and finish ahead of Lloyd Biddulph. But you can bet your bottom dollar that Biddulph, after the 2 back-to-back championships, his season's hiatus, and his return straight back to championship contending ways, you know he is not going to give up. He will persevere all the way to the line, just for that slither of hope. Definitely a glass half full kind of guy. 7.5 minutes left to go. The final quarter of this race approaching. Stu Neal on the back of Sven Mackenberg as well. This is the fight for 8th place. We've got Hyundai Elantra versus Honda Civic. Two brilliant hatchbacks, by the way, it must be said. There's Gregor Kudjek, though, to the inside of the penultimate corner on his championship rival. Lloyd Biddulph sees him coming, tries to go to the outside, bit of contact as Lloyd Biddulph is forced ever so slightly wide, but Kudjek goes through to the final corner. The up and under could well be there from Lloyd Biddulph. Has he got the straight line speed? Has he got the run to contend into turn 1? I don't quite think he's close enough, but that is going to allow Sebastian Ray to get away in his fight for the lead. Lloyd Biddulph looks to go to the inside of turn number 1. He is going to fight Gregor Kudjek. He's hanging on to the championship hope, and Kudjek goes wide over the sausage curb. PJP looking to get involved as well. Our 2 championship rivals are neck and neck on the run towards the prime overtaking opportunity on this circuit. Gregor Kudjek has the outside line. Lloyd Biddulph has got to be brave on the brakes to hang on to 2nd place. Is he going to be able to? Gregor Kudjek gives him the space. The Audi RS3 comes steaming up his inside, but Kudjek gets the rotation and he gets his foot to the floor first as well. He's going to draw himself ahead of the 2-time champion of Lloyd Biddulph in his pursuit of the crown. 6 minutes left to go, and Kudjek is not taking any prisoners. He's not leaving anything on the table one bit. He takes 2nd place, but can he keep it? Lloyd Biddulph has a look. He gets himself alongside towards turn number 6. He's got that shorter line, but now he's got the outside. He's going to have to try and dance his way the long way round of Kudjek, who says absolutely not. And the Slovenian keeps 2nd place. Lloyd Biddulph, as aggressive as he can be within the confines of the rules, but even then it's not quite enough, as Kudjek now has 2 seconds between himself and Sebastian Ray. It'll be hard to do the double from here. Five and a half minutes left of season 4 as gravel gets kicked up. These drivers pushing all the way to the very end, and that's what I love most about them. Lloyd Biddulph though, I think the fight for second, maybe not the championship, but second place definitely still alive. He's still in the slipstream. He's still got a chance. Gregor Kujek goes defensive towards turn number 3. Lloyd Biddulph looks to go to the outside. It's roles reversed from this time a lap ago. But Kujek has got it covered. Lloyd Biddulph though with the exit. Look at the speed he's able to close as they emerge from turn number 3. Back into the slipstream for the Audi RS3. Lloyd Biddulph wants to make this his 6th second place of season 4. Looks to go to the outside of 4 as well, but Kujek later on the brakes, the up and under again could well be there. The switchback does materialise for Lloyd Biddulph, but Kujek once more will have the favourable line for the infield. Gives the squeeze to Lloyd Biddulph, who very nearly, I think, is trying to send the move to the inside. He tries to get once again the up and under, using the curve for a bit of extra rotation. But alas, again, this lap through and not quite enough, but he's applying the pressure to his championship rival. Maybe to manufacture a mistake. It would take a lot for Kujek to fall outside of championship winning position, especially now Biddulph is not winning this race. $14 laps done. I think we're going to have 3 more, 2 at the line. Sebastian Ray will lead them home. He's been waiting so long for an opportunity like this, and he's been so quick this evening. It was the smallest of mistakes that cost him in race 1. And we cannot let the focus of the championship overshadow the absolute dream week it's been for Sebastian Ray. In the background, Marvin Mackenberg, after trying to recover from early woes in this race, side by side with Pavel Mukkonen. I think it is going to be the Russian driver that prevails on that occasion. Not quite close enough for a move into turn 4. There you can see Marvin Mackenberg trying to go on the inside of Pavel Mukkonen, but again, the Seat Cupra wise to just keep the car in the middle of the circuit, giving the Mackenberg the choice, outside and risk it, or inside and really cut yourself off and make that corner nice and tight. So it puts you in a really good position defensively if to just go in the middle. You're not committing to either one, and you're letting the driver behind make that choice, and you can react accordingly. It works so well. 2 more laps left to go at the line. I was going to say we were on to the last lap, but we're not. It's going to be the penultimate lap by. Of course it is. I said 3 times the lap before. Yeah, 2 minutes left to go. So 2 more tours of the Red Bull Ring, about 9 kilometers-ish of distance to cover. Pavel Mukkonen now behind Marvin Mackenberg. And Lloyd Biddulph, if he's not... Wow, goodness me! Marvin Mackenberg, the predictor of a driver up on 2 wheels on the curb, is the one that does it himself. He fulfills the prophecy and gets the car doing some stunts. Fantastic stuff from the German, who drove so well in race 1 and is continuing to impress every time I see Marvin Mackenberg. You just have to watch in awe. Of course, now Lloyd Biddulph falling off the back a little bit of Gregor Kujek. He gets the push from his teammate to try and get onto the back of him once more, because if it's not going to be ahead in the championship, you can bet he's going to try and be ahead in this race. Marvin Mackenberg door-to-door rubbing with Pavel Mukkonen to the side, 6th place. There's the look. Marvin Mackenberg tries to send it late, but the pinch point is there, and that gap was always going to close, as Pavel Mukkonen knows how to defend situations like that. 45 seconds on the clock. This time we've got 1 more tour of the Red Bull Ring for season 4. And in all realistic outcomes, it's going to be Gregor Kujek that will cross the line as the champion. But Sebastian Ray, 2 seconds clear of the pack, at one of the most pack racing dominant circuits of the entire calendar, has pulled out a monstrous lead and will lead them for one final time in season 4. The final lap of 2024 and of the T6 Motorsport Super Touring Championship. It all comes down to this. Lloyd Biddulph, can he mount any sort of an attack on Gregor Kujek? who of course naturally is going to be all over the white line. PJP looking to maybe get involved as well. Lloyd Biddulph giving his rival a squeeze. They're going to do battle for one final time towards turn number 3. There's contact behind, but he gets the up and under and he gets the drive. Could he quite be able to get alongside? Not just able to, but still with the slipstream, maybe with a bit of a bump draft from his teammate, could well materialise a bit of a move. Lloyd Biddulph looks to go to the inside. It's not enough. It's a late decision to go to the apex of turn 4. Gregor Kujek sees it coming, but Lloyd Biddulph is able to find his way through into second. He's fighting fearlessly. And fights his way to second place. It's not enough for the championship, but he's doing everything he can to be as annoying as possible and finish as far ahead as possible. PJP as well looking to get onto the back of Gregor Kujek, who's trying to mount an attack, but with 2 corners left to go, our focus turns to Sebastian Ray. 2.7 seconds clear. It was a small mistake that cost him victory in race 1, but he's taken the opportunity and he has run away with it. Here for race 2, Sebastian Ray is our race winner, but our season 4 champion goes to Gregor Kujek, P3 at the line, and the championship title goes to the Slovenian. 2 seasons in a row it goes to Ego Racing, and Gregor Kujek has got a lot to be proud of. Lloyd Biddulph, with his heart on the line, drove faultlessly, but in the end fell just a little bit short. And it's Gregor Kujek, our season 4 drivers champion. He is top of, well, race room touring esports as far as I'm concerned. Sebastian Ray then is our final winner of season 4. Lloyd Biddulph from Gregor Kujek, who takes the podium and the fastest lap and the championship as well. Pascal Jean-Pietre from Nenad Radosavljevic, who will take P4 in the championship, I think, after the dust is settled. Sven Mackenberg from Pavel Mukkonen, who grabs himself 75 quid as a nice bit of pocket change towards the holiday season. Then comes Marvin Mackenberg ahead of Stu Neal and Bojan Kabai in the top 10. Jorge Prieto from Onjanopolic, Nikita Kor and Piotr Blanchak and DNF from this evening, I think, not quite feeling it at the Red Bull Ring. But, ladies and gents, a reflection of this season. Donington Park, Brno, the Lausitz Ring, Most, Bilsterberg, Laguna Seca, Assen, and now the Red Bull Ring. 16 races. And after all of that, we entered the final round with 1 point separating our top 2. What a story that we've had. The narrative of this season will go down in T6 Motorsport history. And it just makes me all more excited to tell you all about the news of 2025. Of course, like I say, we'll have the T6 Touring Championship and the T6 Porsche GT3 Championship. £300 prize pool between both of them. So they each get themselves 300 quid between February and June on alternate Sundays. So we'll go T6 Touring, Porsche, T6 Touring, Porsche, and of course, I don't know if this is, you'll be delighted to know, it'll be myself, Zach Sweeney, and Dara Thacker throughout the course of 2025 on the commentary team to bring you all of the action. And of course, as well, just a bit of a side note, we're going to be introducing a bit of driver classification, safety rated for those that are competent, not quite overly quick, but definitely safe, fun, and raceable drivers. The pro license, of course, those that are then building up the ladder, very quick, very knowledgeable about the racecraft, and then super pro. Our esport level drivers, the best of the best in terms of T6 Motorsport. Ladies and gentlemen, the season that we've shared, the stories that have been told, and what a fairy tale ending it was for Gregor Kujek, who takes his maiden T6 Motorsport Super Touring Championship and etches his name into the history books. Lloyd Biddulph of Season 1 and 2, Gasman Rack of Season 3, and now his teammate of Gregor Kujek as well joins him up there. My name, of course, has been Zach Sweeney to talk you through all of the racing action this season. We've had Rich Wetherill, of course, behind the scenes, making sure everything runs as faultlessly as possible. Of course, we had Antonio Gonzalez making sure that all of the decisions that needed to be made post-race were made in the best way possible. And of course, thank you to our sponsors of Garage DuPont and Stu Udersi's Garage as well. Thank you to their support for funding and assisting and supporting this fantastic championship. Thank you to the drivers, because without them, obviously, there's no cars to talk about on track, because they make the racing. They make the stories and the narratives, and they bring such clean, fun, fast, amazing action. And of course, quite importantly, thank you to everyone that's tuned in. Thank you to all of their support. You know, anyone that shared, liked, watched the stream, got anyone else involved about T6 Motorsport. We see you. We appreciate you. Thank you for your contributions into YouTube chat and everything like that. We hope to see more of you in 2025. Enjoy the holidays. And until we see you for the first of our two R Factor 2 championships in 2025, from me, it's goodbye for now.